onward through this laborious list of questions. It is a fun thing to do. I hope you continue to enjoy the questions with each other. It's good just to be able to talk sometimes, and it's fun where these questions can lead us in reflection and in conversation. What's something you've been meaning to try but just haven't gotten around to it? Uh, I think I would say really delving into jazz. I have always enjoyed jazz, and over the last 6 or 8 years, I would say I have really identified it as something I'd like to learn a lot more about. I love it, especially classic jazz, but pop and rock music have always sort of been my first love. And when I listen to music, I really do just enjoy uh, something I can sing with, or that has some harmonies and a chorus. And um, but I would really love to learn more about jazz, especially the players, uh, just the giants of jazz, and the names that aren't so well known. So I would love to do some more reading and some more discovery of jazz. Somebody loaned me a book a while back, and I've started to flip through it a little bit, but I have a long way to go. So a little bit at a time. Who's your go-to band or artist when you can't decide on something to listen to? I would say ELO or XTC, which is funny because they're both bands that go by 3 letters. Um, ELO, just classic, great songs, and beautiful orchestration, and so many wonderful tunes in the ELO catalog. And XTC, just perfect pop, and it's smart and snarky, and always a sense of humor, and the kind of pop that makes you think at the same time. So maybe more rock than pop, but either of those are good starting points. If you were a dictator of a small island nation, what crazy dictator stuff would you do? Uh, I don't dream about that very often, but I did think one thing I would like to mandate would be that the day doesn't start till noon. Everybody gets a quiet morning, ease into the day, and um, stores are open till midnight at least, and um, life just starts later and goes later. That's my natural rhythm. I think I would love to stay up till 2 a.m. and get up every day at 10, and live my life according to that schedule. But alas, it's not possible. What's something that a ton of people are obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of? Oh, probably a long list of things, but the first thing that comes to mind is the zombie thing. I just don't get it. Not that I don't approve or don't like it, but I just don't get it. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at winning a medal for? Uh, I would have to say bargain shopping. If I need something, I don't just go buy it. I have to research it, especially with the internet these days. I love looking at the price of it across several different sites, many different sites, and over days, weeks, if I can. I don't want to just buy it. I want to buy it for the best possible price I will ever get it for. And if I have the luxury of time, I'm pretty good at waiting for something to get cheaper. So I'm pretty thrifty about that kind of thing. I think I'm good at it. What piece of entertainment do you wish you could erase from your mind so that you could experience it for the first time again? Wow. Uh, I think the best one that comes to mind is an album by Of Montreal called Hissing Fauna, Are You the Destroyer? The first time I heard that, it just was the strangest, most engaging sound. Um, Unusual harmonies and words I'd never heard before, and uh, it had sort of a David Bowie sound, and it also had sort of an 80s synth sound, and there was just all kinds of sounds colliding and aesthetics at work on this album, and somehow it just works magically and beautifully as a masterpiece, in my opinion. So I remember the first time I heard it, I just couldn't believe it existed, and I couldn't listen to it enough. So that would be my choice. Hissing Fauna, Are You the Destroyer by Of Montreal. If you had unlimited funds to build a house that you would live in for the rest of your life, what would the finished house look like? I would say it would be a beach house. I would say it wouldn't be a mansion. I would say it would have lots of glass looking out over the ocean. And I would say it would be more on the modern side with some warmth built in. I had another question where I answered similar to this, that I would want lots of glass, but I also would want some wood, some paneling, some wood features. I love that mixture, but it would definitely be overlooking the ocean. Let's see, what makes a good life? I would say any opportunity to be creative. I think a chance to do things that really have an impact, that are unique and original to you. I think any chance to develop something or establish something. I think those opportunities are really exciting to me. It's one of the things I love about being a priest. I think there are just immense chances to be creative every day. It's part of what I love about parish life, that we're in dialogue with the world and bringing to bear what we think is important and helpful and life-giving for humanity. I love the idea of developing things that might be new or just really dynamic and exciting and life-giving for the world. So that opportunity to be creative for me is a really special one. What do you take for granted? I think I will always take my parents and family for granted. I love them and I cherish them, and I think I love and cherish them more all the time. But I think the ability to grasp the fullness of blessing that you can be born with good parents and family is probably never something you can fully comprehend. So even though I think I am very grateful and certainly acknowledge the gift that I have in my parents and family, I don't think I'll ever be able to fully appreciate and grasp it. What do you have doubts about? I would say, generally speaking, just the future. I tend to be a worrier, and unfortunately, I tend to see the worst coming. I think part of that is to prepare myself for it so that when it doesn't happen, I'm relieved, or when it does happen, I'm not surprised. But I also know as a person of faith, it does help to meet the future with more hope and optimism. I think I'll always probably struggle with some worry and anxiety about the future. Not the big stuff, but just the everyday stuff, and stuff I couldn't even name. I'm always thinking there's something awful coming tomorrow that I don't even know about yet. It's not a bad thing, but I think after a while it can be a little draining. So keep working on being a more positive, hopeful person.